Welcome back to this very special series titled Success Exposed, the 10 X factors superachievers use to multiply their results and dominate their markets. Number 9 on our list here is usually the one I cite as number 1, as the number 1 commonality that I see amongst all extraordinary achievers that I've met and dealt with. And that is they are all consummate learners. They are passionate, if not downright obsessive, about continually looking for the edge, the advantage. They have an insatiable curiosity to learn, grow, and become better. Let me have the corporate titan of the 20th century, the late, great Jack Welch, tell you.
I've been inspired by numerous people, too numerous to name. That's back to my earlier point, Darren. Everybody is a mentor. You can learn from every single person you meet. You see somebody give a speech a certain way, make a certain point. You read a certain article, you learn from that. I always use the analogy, if there's 8 people at a table having dinner, if you could get the best brain, the best idea out of each one of them and put it into one, they'd be so much smarter. And that's how you have to approach life. Eyes open, ears open, wanting to learn from people that are doing it. We used to send our people out saying, everybody is doing something in the job better than you are. Your job is to find out or think about what that might be, and you do it. I think that way every day.
Now, fortunately, being a consummate learner was something that I learned early on. Some of the best advice my mentor Jim Rohn gave me was in the early years was why and how to be a rabid learner. He would say, if you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. Happiness is not an accident. It is a study first and then a practice. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Would you like to guess how many people make wealth a study, he'd asked? Right, very few. Surely, since wealth and happiness and success are all values to cultivate, you would naturally assume that most people would make a careful study of them. Yet, they don't. Why? Well, he'd say, that just falls into the category of mysteries of the mind. Then he'd end looking sternly at me, but don't let you neglect this most important discipline. And I didn't. And he was right. It made all my future success possible. I didn't have any innate talents. I wasn't naturally bright or intelligent. I had only 1 semester of college to my credit. But this guidance that I could be and become anything that I wanted if I would only intensely study and practice it. I could gain the advantage in any industry, in any pursuit, with any goal if I would commit to being a rabid learner. It allowed me to enter industries that I had no prior experience in, industries I had no prior education or training in, and beat far more experienced, more gifted, and more talented people than I. Every venture that I ever entered, I used this same X factor. I've been in a dozen different industries, none of which I knew anything about before entering, none of which I had any connections in before entering, but yet I still went on to become a dominant force. How? Talent? Heck no. I just out-learned them. I out-practiced them. I out-iterated. I out-improved them. Here's what's awesome when you master learning. When you invest in and apply advanced training to gain the edge, to gain the advantage, to iterate and improve faster than your competition. You don't have to be that smart. You don't have to be that talented. You don't have to have any prior experience. You don't need to have any formal education. You don't need any special contacts. With a consummate learning mindset and practice, you can learn the skills, the attributes, and the strategies that will give you a massive advantage over all those smart, experienced, good-looking, and well-connected folks. You can learn to dominate any market that you choose. It is powerful, and it is why those go on to become super achievers. This is the number 1 attribute, I would say, that sets them apart. This is the only real skill, mindset, and personal philosophy that you need. Why? Because with this one, you can learn the rest. When I asked Mark Cuban what powered his unique success, this was his answer.
I really learn. I learn. I never stop learning because, you've got your bank accounts are a reflection of what happened before. They're not a reflection of what's happening now. And so I'm so competitive. I want to be able to say, okay, that 18-year-old kid, he or she thinks he got it going on and got their stuff together. Well, watch this.
Yeah.
I'll compete with you. You're not going to have more energy than me. You're not going to know more about this. You think, oh, somebody my age isn't going to understand. Well, watch this, right? Because I'll put in the time and put myself in those circumstances and put myself in their shoes and figure it out.
But what if you get to the top of your industry? What if you are the best? What if you've beaten everyone? Are you still that greedy that you need to keep learning and keep getting better? Well, at the time of this audio, Tiger Woods was at the very tippy top of his fame, success, and achievements. And even then, this is what he said about being the best and pursuing better.
Whether it was a kid in Southern California when I was competing in junior golf, then I went into national junior golf. There's always someone better than me. And amateur golf, there's always someone better than me. Now you get into professional golf. When I first started, there's always people better than me. And even now, to this day, there are people who are better than me in different facets of the game. And I watch and I analyze and I'll try and learn to try and make my game even better. So I'm always trying to get a little bit better. I guess you're greedy in a sense.
And finally, if you don't believe me, or Mark Cuban, or Tiger Woods, or almost every other single super achiever I've ever known, let me bring in the great Oracle himself to speak it to you directly. When asked for his best investment advice, this is what Warren Buffett said.
Generally speaking, investing in yourself is the best thing you can do. Anything that improves your own talents. So nobody can take it away from you. They can run up huge deficits and the dollar can become worth far less. You can have all kinds of things happen. But if you've got talent yourself, and you've maximized your talent, you've got a terrific asset. Any way you find to improve.
So, are you investing in yourself? I know that you're showing up here to learn, which is great, but are you making an investment in yourself, in your growth, in your better future? There is a big difference between listening and watching and reading and being intellectually amused and the spiritual and psychological transition that is made when you finally decide that you are worth it, that you think you are worth investing in. I'm telling you, there's a switch that gets flipped on inside. It's like the muse inside you finally sees, oh, so you're actually serious about it this time. Okay, let's make it happen. The very act of you making that decision, that you are worth it, an investment is worth it in you. That is what starts the transformation process. So I ask you to consider your investments. The formula that I was taught was 10%, to take 10% of every dollar that I earned and to set it aside to reinvest in your personal development. If you make $50,000, that's $5,000. If you make $100,000, that's $10,000. If you make $1 million, that's $100,000. This is what I have done all along my ascent. And my ascent was only made possible because I did. And an added tip to this process, invest 10% of your income goal for the year, not just 10% of your present income. Jim Rohn taught me, you don't achieve goals, you grow into them. In order to reach the rewards that are on the high shelf in life, you have to stand on top of the books, the training programs, and the curriculum binders in order to reach them. Otherwise, they will just forever remain unreachable for you. As Jim Rohn taught me, personal development is not an event. Personal development is a process that, if consistent, gathers momentum and capacity like a snowball rolling down a hill. And the process is never done. It's a never-ending journey. There is no destination. There is only better. You are either green and growing or ripening and rotting. You are either improving or you are falling behind. Claim the one superpower of the super achievers and become a consummate learner. Develop an insatiable hunger for constant learning, growth, and improvement, and you too could be catapulted to the heights you never even once dreamed was possible for you. I promise, I'm living testimony. If I can do it, so too can you.